Welcome, everyone. My name is Doug Stampley, and I am joined by betrayal trauma healing expert Beth Fischer. Hello, Beth.
Hi, Doug. Thank you so much for having me. Today is a very, very special day.
Yes, it is. We are getting closer and closer to
Mhm.
January 14th, 2026, which is the launch date for the Kindle version of your first book. And I'm going to let you have the privilege to share what the title is.
That's right. So let me just start off by saying you do not need to have a Kindle in order to
Yes.
read this book. I get asked that question so much. There's many, many free apps out there for people to read ebooks on, but the Kindle version of the book will be available January 14th, and the title is On the Other Side of Pain, Healing After Betrayal. And I chose that title specifically because I want people to envision a bridge. We're
Mm,
here. This book is going to get people here
yeah.
on the other side. I didn't want to have a book that was just like, oh, here's a chapter on boundaries and here's a chapter on this and that. And that to me, when I was going through this, that's how I got all my information. It was like piecemeal from
Jeez,
all these
yeah.
different. I spent hundreds, if maybe even into the thousands of dollars on books and
Oh, wow.
courses and programs, and that's not even, let's not even talk about the tens of thousands of dollars on wasted on marriage counseling.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to get you
So
started on that.
no, don't. Hours and hours I can spend on that. So this book is a one-stop shop. I wanted to get everything in here that works and put it into one place so
Yeah,
that people can really start seeing, oh, now I know how to get to the other side. So
yeah. Yeah.
that's the title of the book, On the Other Side of Pain, Healing After Betrayal.
Okay, I love that. And thank you for sharing that. And so what we've been doing is we've been going through different sections of the book. You've got the book
Mhm.
broken up into five parts. There's chapters within each one of those five parts. The first part was all about understanding betrayal trauma, and that's super, super important. The second part was all about having the right processes in place for true healing. The third part was getting, like you said, the bridge, getting to the other side of the pain for the betrayed partner. And then now
Mhm.
we're into part four, which is getting to the other side of the pain for the unfaithful partner. And we're kind of like getting close to the end of this particular part of the book about the
Mhm.
unfaithful partner. And chapter 18 is what we're focusing on today. And it's so, so important because almost every unfaithful partner, when they decide to take their individual healing journey, is dealing with this.
That's
And
right.
sometimes it's so insidious, they don't even realize what they're dealing with sometimes. And that is, chapter 18 is working through the shame cycle.
That's
So,
right.
would you tell us a little bit more about this and why it's so
Yeah.
important to understand this?
So, shame is the lowest emotion that a human being can have. Shame is an identity, Doug.
Mm,
So, and we've talked about this in many of our conversations.
yep.
So, when I believe that I am something, the universe responds.
Hmm.
My
Absolutely.
brain will look for validation of that thing that I think I am.
Right.
So shame is an identity that says I am a bad person and I did bad things. Now, we can use different words for the word bad, but I'm keeping this very simple. So,
Yep.
a shame cycle basically means that somebody is stuck believing that they're a horrible person
Mm,
and that because they're a horrible person, they did bad things. In the betrayal world, the unfaithful partner who's stuck with that shame is not going to be able to heal.
mm.
Because if I am just a bad person, then there's nothing to heal. I
There's
am a
no
bad
hope.
person. It's my
Yeah.
identity. There's no hope
Yep.
for me, right?
Right.
The problem as well, on top of that, is you have a betrayed partner who is stuck in so much pain.
Yeah.
There is so much pain and anguish and torture within the betrayed partner that the betrayed partner throws shame identities at the unfaithful partner by
Right.
saying things like, and I did this personally, so I know it. You're a monster. You're evil. you are this, you are that, because they're in so much pain. So you've
Yep.
got an unfaithful partner who's living with their own identity. I'm a horrible person.
Yep.
That's getting validated with the betrayed partner saying you're a horrible person. And again,
Right.
this isn't, sometimes I'll get emails or messages from betrayed partners when they hear me say that. I understand why you're saying those things. I get it. I know why you think your spouse is a monster and why they're the most evil person on the planet. I understand that. This isn't about betrayed partners. This is about the unfaithful partner who has to learn how to process through their own shame
Hmm.
and move up to what we call guilt, which is it's a different emotion. And people use these words interchangeably,
Yeah,
shame
they
and
do.
guilt,
Right.
but they're really two different emotions
Yep.
because guilt says, I'm a good person. Underneath all of this, I'm a good person. And I made horrific, destructive choices. But somewhere within me is a good person. They're just buried. Our job when we're working with people, and that's why this chapter is so important in the book, it's to help unfaithful partners start processing through the shame so
Hmm.
that they can come into guilt. Guilt allows for healing because guilt says somewhere underneath this, I'm a good person. I made irreversible damage, destructive, whatever words we want to use, choices. So we have to help them get rid of their shame, Doug. We have to
Yeah.
do that. Betrayed partners say if they want to reconcile, right? If a betrayed partner wants to reconcile, they say, I want my spouse to have empathy. I want my spouse to become trustworthy. Well, guess what? None of that is going to happen if they're in a shame cycle.
Hmm.
If they're living in shame, they're not going to have empathy. They're not going to become trustworthy.
Right.
They're not healthy.
Yep.
Healthy people are not people filled with shame. So we have to work with unfaithful partners in a very specific way, individually, not marriage counseling, not couples therapy, but individually to help them work through their shame. That's why this chapter is so important in the book.
Yeah, and as I'm hearing you say this, Beth, something is really clicking for me right now because a lot of times we're working with unfaithful partners who really struggle to come to terms with the harm and the damage that they've caused. So it's almost like they have like a survival mechanism that makes them want to double down on protecting their own self-image. And a lot of
Mhm.
times betrayed partners will say they're emotionally suppressed and some of those things. And I think a lot of times what's at the root cause of that is that shame cycle that you're talking about. Does that make
Yes,
sense?
absolutely. And the first thing that needs to happen in order to get rid of shame is truth. And this is why doing a full disclosure, but a
Yep.
therapeutic full disclosure, we have a whole process
Yep.
for unfaithful partners. Full disclosure is not just telling your spouse what you did and what year it was and how many times you did something. That's
Right.
not full disclosure.
Right.
So, the first step toward helping an unfaithful partner heal from shame is getting the truth out. Shame
Mm,
can't live in the light. Shame
right.
lives in the dark. The secrets
Mm.
are in the dark.
Oh my gosh, Beth, this is so good. And
Mhm.
that makes sense then too, like why a lot of times unfaithful partners need one-on-one support in
Yes.
addition to that step by step. Here's how to go through that therapeutic disclosure because a lot of times it's not just about, the writing, putting it into a written document or anything like that, but it's like all of this shame that they're dealing with in order to get to be able to put all of this out on the table and bring it to light. So
Yeah.
that's why
You
we
know,
end up supporting unfaithful partners, isn't it?
absolutely. And it's a chicken or the egg scenario, right? Because they can't heal shame if they're still keeping secrets, yet keeping the secrets is what's keeping them stuck in shame.
Perpetuating the shame.
It's a
Yeah,
hamster wheel.
it's
And
a
that's why
vicious
I call it
cycle.
a shame cycle,
Yep,
because at some point, and if we go back to the integrity journey, which I created, the 6 stages,
yep,
right? That's where we see this play out. right in that fork in the road. What are you
Yeah.
going to do? You got to pick one. Either
Yep.
the truth is going to come out or you're going to stay stuck in shame forever. And you can't live a healthy life if you're still carrying secrets because the secrets feed the shame.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other thing that is really clicking for me right now too is just how that independent healing journey that unfaithful partner is on, how it contributes to the healing journey that the betrayed partner is on, and how both
Mhm.
of those things contribute towards the reconciliation process. I'm
Right.
like I've got light bulbs going on left and right here right now, Beth. So
Yeah,
thank you for helping me like boom, boom,
of
boom. It's like,
course.
oh, all of a sudden I'm seeing this through a new lens now, how all these pieces go together. So
Yeah.
this is great. So if people want to pre-order the book, Beth, obviously they can just look for the link below.
Yes.
But even though they'll have to wait till January 14th for that, there is another huge reason
Mm,
why they should want to consider doing that today because they can actually start their healing journey today with having access to a bonus item that you created specifically for them. Would you like to share what that item is?
absolutely. So for people that pre-order the book, it's $9.99. But as a thank you from me to them, I recorded a 1 hour video strictly to help betrayed partners get through really difficult days. Every day is difficult for a betrayed partner. Some days it's just hard to get out of bed. I remember those days personally. So what I wanted to do was create something exclusive just for people that pre-order the book. You cannot find this video on my website or anywhere else. And it's to help betrayed partners get through really hard days. Every day is hard. Some days have an added layer of toughness to them, like birthdays, holidays, anniversaries, graduations, weddings, places where people gather. And maybe not everybody knows the story. So the betrayed partners have to kind of pretend everything's fine. And people will say, "Oh my God, I haven't seen you in 6 months. How are you doing?" "Oh, I'm great." When inside, they're dying, but they
Yeah.
can't tell anybody. So this video is basically a walkthrough to help betrayed partners get through those types of days as a special thank you for pre-ordering the book.
Yeah, I love the fact that they can pre-order today and have immediate access to that
Immediate.
video. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so thank you for that, Beth. And for
Of
anyone who's
course.
listening right now, where if you're saying to yourself, well, I'd like to learn more about Beth or the Healing Families team or how to heal after betrayal trauma, we invite you to go to healingwithbeth.com. And when you go to Beth's website, you're going to find access to all kinds of complimentary resources. And one of those, if you're saying to yourself, well, I know I need to do something, but I'm just not sure what is the next best step for me, please, I invite you to click on the link that says book a complimentary call. That's going to be with me. It's going to be a private call via Zoom. There's no pressure or obligation whatsoever. And we're going to go through your specific situation and figure out where you're at, where you want to go, and what those next best steps could look like for you so that you have options. Um, Beth, thank you so much for taking the time. I love all of these little background, these behind the scenes nuggets and insights. I hope people realize I'm not faking this. Like my light bulbs are going off in real time every time we do another one of these little segments. So thank you for being so gracious with your time.
Of course, you're so welcome. And thank you to everybody that's watching. And especially thank you to the people that have already pre ordered the book, because I know I have a big following out there. And January 14th, it's right around the corner.
Yeah, yeah. And for those of you listening, most importantly, thank you for your time again for listening to this segment. But most importantly, we look forward to connecting with you very soon. Till then, take care.